Kaylee, your friendly neighborhood hairstylist here, and today we're going to be talking about the T3 Airbrush Duo. Let's get into it. Hi. Yes, it has been a minute since I last posted. You can tell because my hair has gotten much longer. Is it long now? I think this is long. It's still a little bit in the medium category, but I think long. We are well on our way to my length goal by wedding time. Yes. For my first video back, we've got this one on the T3 Airbrush Duo dryer, and I actually filmed the majority of this video a while back when I first got the dryer in my hands. And so you guys are gonna see a first impression, you're gonna see some different trial and error and my final thoughts on it then. And I'm gonna pop in again at the end to tell you what has changed in my opinion since then. But to the subject of today's video, we have the T3 Airbrush Duo dryer, and I am excited about this, okay? Dryer brushes have become such a big thing over the last few years. I don't know if it was the Dyson or if it was the Revlon hot brush that kind of revived their popularity. Tell me which one you think in the comments. Either way, we are living on a renaissance of brush dryers, and T3 is the newest one on the scene, and honestly, guys, they are doing it. They are really doing it. They're doing some cool things that no one else is doing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and zip back to Kayley from the past with shorter hair to tell you guys about all the features of this brush and why I thought it was cool enough to make a video on in the first place. T3 entered the game with gusto. First of all, everything T3 makes is beautiful. You have your base. You have two brush attachments, one that is more of your normal paddle brush. This is gonna be great for straightening. And then one that is a round brush. This one is for round brushing, so you can get a little bit of curve in your hair if you want to. Already outshining some competitors by having two options when you buy one device. The thing that drew me in, that made sure that I tried this and did a video on it, 5 heat settings. 5. The Revlon has 2. Dyson has, how many does Dyson have? The Dyson only has 3 heat settings and 2, I think, air options. So this is our most diverse set of options yet. You also have a volumizing button where you can turn the ions on or off. Ions basically help to smooth the hair. So if you turn it off, the hair will be a little bit puffier, which will get you some more volume. And one final benefit is that there is a smart microchip inside, constantly gauging the heat to make sure that there are never any spikes or dips in the heat, and you have a consistent experience throughout. And that is one of the things that you get from a higher priced tool, is that the elements inside the dryer are going to be a little bit more high tech, a little bit more accurate, and can be full of all these amazing features like really powerful ions and consistent heat. That is everything the T3 dryer claims that it does. Now it's time to see if it stacks up and if it is worth the $180 price tag. Listen, I know it's expensive, but let's compare it. The Revlon hot air brush, $60. The Dyson, 500 and something. This one is definitely at the lower end of that. And if all of this works, it would be worth it. Let's find out. So I've tried this over the course of a little more than a week. I've done 3 blowouts with it. The first one was just to get my bearings. I just wanted to see where things would go. And the first thing I realized was that I had left my hair way too wet, just way too much. So I was having to do a lot of work to dry it with the brush. That is a rookie mistake. Kick some of that extra water out before you start using the brush. That's what a rough dry is for, okay? This has been your friendly neighborhood hairstylist, PSA. But once I got past that, the next thing I realized, this brush, magical. Got all these little bristles in here, and it like grabs the hair. Like it is like taking a hold of your hair with your hand, that level of secure. And you can move it anywhere. You can direct it however you want, and it's not gonna go falling out of the brush. A breath of fresh air. Next thing I noticed, I like the heat settings. I had it set on number 2, and I kind of toggle between 2 and 3, just depending on my mood. 2 is a little bit on the cooler side. It's like a little bit more than warm, but definitely not like warm. And then 3 is like warm, maybe a little bit hot. Does that make sense? So with that advanced knowledge, I decided to give my second try all of the effort and see exactly how it went. All right, we're here. I'm dressed like a pumpkin spice latte. Let's do this. So I'm going to do this in 3 sections. We're gonna do the nape, the middle, and the top. So let's section off the nape first. And I am immediately regretting wearing a turtleneck while trying to style this. For this section, I'm actually going to be kind of going straight up with these. So if my hair was shorter, it would be making like a Jackie O, like 1960s shape. And after I finish each section, I am going to clip it to cool. I like doing that on my hair. My hair does not like to hold the shape, so I do that little extra step and it makes a big difference. Okay, so that is our first layer. We have Cindy Lou Who'd ourselves. Let's keep going. So this is like eyebrow height and down for this next section. You know what? I think for this layer, I am also going to go straight up. Okay, so I've had this on number 3 heat the whole time. Now that I had it next to my face just here, it was starting to be a little uncomfortably warm for me. So I took it down to a 2. I still feel like even like the slight discomfort that I'm feeling here is better than I feel with every other hot brush I've tried. Alrighty, finally, top section. My hands and arms are not yet sore. For this top section, instead of going upwards with the curls, we're going to go down, which will hopefully help with some volume and a little bit of that like curve around the face. Arms are getting sore now, but that's just the top section and lifting straight up, I guess. I believe this side has dried, so let's see how it looks. Ah, yes. Guys, I feel like this is what I've been trying to do with my blowouts. It feels a lot more me than what I've been doing with like the really big, like bumpy blowout. As far as the dryer brush, love the different heat settings. I love how grippy this brush is. I love how big the base is so that you don't have to hold on super, super tight and really like cramp your hand. You have like a little bit of a looser grip. That's lovely. Wow, so good so far. So today I decided to sit down for one final sesh where I finesse everything I've learned to this point and see if I can make this blowout exactly what I want it to be. So let's see how that went. So let's talk. We have more water in my hair than I want to deal with the round brush. So I want to test this theory. I'm gonna take the whole brush head off. I'm gonna use this to do my rough dry and just kick some of the water out so I'm spending less time with the round brush. Let's see if it works. That worked surprisingly well. That was no time at all, and this is exactly where I want my hair at for this. It felt less powerful than a normal dryer, which is fine with me because it's not a normal dryer. So yes, I think this works. I'm gonna grab some Velcro rollers and we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna section just like I did before, and I'm actually gonna follow the same curling that I did before, so we're not gonna actually spend a lot of time talking about how I'm doing it. Just wanna like, just turn the knob up just a little bit more, see if we can get where we're going. Honestly, I'm just gonna turn on Red Taylor's version and vibe out while I do this hair. Let's show you how it goes. Okay, so that was like 15, 20 minutes. I don't feel like that was too bad for my entire drying and curling routine, especially if it lasts. At this point, I want to make sure everything is cool before I take it down. It does feel like it's ready, so let's reveal. All right, I'm gonna throw a little texturizing spray in here and a little hairspray on top. Wow, guys, I really like this. I mean, obviously I felt really good about the tool and the method the second time I used it, so last time, but I feel like I just like finessed the last little bit of it. Okay, well, I'm happy with the blowout. Let's zoom this back out and talk about my thoughts overall. So I've tried this for a little over a week now. We've had 3 different blowouts with it. What are my thoughts? Is it worth it? How does it stack up against the competition? Okay. The Revlon brush. Now I can only compare it to the original because I haven't tried the new one yet, but that one gets so freaking hot. I feel like the heat is drying your hair just about as much as the air is, and that is not good for your hair long term. I also don't feel like I got as shiny and smooth of results as I did with the T3. That being said, it is a cult favorite for a reason. It does work really, really well, and if you have really hardy hair, so like thick hair strands that aren't damaged as easily as my baby fine hair strands, you know, and you're using it successfully, I'm not gonna tell you to stop using it. But when I compare the two and I take into account the fact that I have bleached fine hair, I definitely prefer the T3. And then compared to Dyson, this is when we get into the tea. Here's the thing. I really have come to love the Dyson Airwrap, as in the little barrel that wraps your hair up for you. However, we're comparing just the brush attachments because I want to keep it even. As far as the brush attachments go, the brush attachments on the T3 are better than the Dyson. There, I said it. They are, and you wanna know why? Hold on. Take a look at this brush. It has all the little bristles in here that help to grab and hold onto your hair while you're styling it. This one has no such thing, and the hair falls off of it so easily. Also, it's much, much smaller. You can fit way more hair on this than you can this one. Also, I really think that the placement of these little air valves, there's something magic here because the hair does not blow out and away from the hairbrush the same way that it does with the Dyson brush. So just in the brush like formulation, this one is already set to make it more maneuverable and better results. And then better heat settings. You get from like just mildly warm to hot. Whereas I feel like with the Dyson, you're like medium warm to scalding. I feel like the results are smoother. Yeah, if you wanted a Dyson Airwrap for the brush attachments, this is some tea, but I would say get the T3 instead. I'm gonna have to watch out for Dyson snipers on my way home. I'm sorry, Dyson, I still love the Airwrap. Like the little thing, love it. Love it. Love so many things that you do. I'm just saying the brush attachments, they could use some work. So yes, this has jumped all the way to the tippity top of my very, very favorites of the hot air brushes. I love it. I just love it. And T3, I'm really hoping that much like your amazing interactive curling iron situation where you can buy all the different size of curling iron attachments, I would love to be able to buy more brush attachments. Please and thank you. I am just gonna remind you that there is a learning curve anytime you bring a new tool into your life. That has been true with hair products and every other tool you've ever purchased. So if this is your first time using a hairdryer brush, give yourself a little patience, but I do think this one is the GOAT. And back to modern day. I'm gonna say I do agree with a lot of what I had to say back then, but I do have a couple of retractions. Retraction number one, and this is the most important. I said that you can take the brush off and use the base to rough dry your hair before you put the brush on, and that would work just as well as using a hair dryer to rough dry your hair. I believe that so strongly that when my fiance and I went out of town for a weekend, I only brought that brush dryer with me. And then she tried to use it to rough dry her hair before she used the round brush, and she definitely disagreed with me. Now she's a sweet little marshmallow nugget, so her anger is only so big, but she vehemently disagreed. And I felt like I need to put that in the video. You would probably want to use a different dryer to do the rough dry before going in, or let it air dry. That is retraction number one. Retraction number two, I guess it's not so much a retraction, it's just like something to note. Dyson is coming out with their version 2 of the Airwrap. They have revamped so many of the attachments, and that's coming out in the summer. TBD on when this summer, but apparently that's happening. And from what I've seen, the revamp includes changing up some of the brush attachments, which might address some of the problems that I have with the original. We will have to wait and see. And if you guys want me to review it this summer when it comes out, let me know in the comments and I will spend my dollars to make that happen. As far as whether or not the T3 has been put into a drawer to die or whether it is still being used, it is getting used every single day in my house. Not by me, but my fiance Jenna has taken over and completely loves it. It is her brush now. So she, when I met her, had a very well-honed round brush dryer routine, but she has now swapped it out for the T3 brush. She finds it a lot easier. She goes to it every single day, whether she is drying her hair from wet to dry or just refreshing it. There is a testament to the efficacy and the love that is there within our little duo for this brush dryer. And I think that is all of the tea on the T3. We love an alliteration. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I will be coming back and posting more videos on Fridays. I would like to request a little bit of grace around the frequency of posting. I'm trying to figure out whether I can post every single week or whether I need to be every other week until after my wedding. So I'm just gonna play around with it, check in on Fridays, and I will update you guys as soon as I kind of like know what my routine is. I think that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, I hope you click that like button so that more people will see this video. If you're new here, you can click that subscribe button to join the Braidaholic family here on KayleyMelissa, and all of y'all can hit that bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. But that's it for today. Whether you're old or new or a casual lurker, thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye! Say hello to everybody. They're in the camera, right there. Today, we are gonna be talking about the T3 what is it called? I'm a professional who's prepared for my video. Airbrush Duo.